Of course not. Seamlessly, she handed Charlotte the waiting sandwiches. Here's a replacement and an extra to make up for the inconvenience. I'm so sorry for the trouble. Charlotte humphed and stuffed the new sandwiches into her bag and scuttled off toward the edge of the park, where she handed one of the aluminum foil packets to the bedraggled man sitting on the bench before heading down the street out of sight. Gina smiled in her direction before returning her focus to the growing line, settling into the lunch rush routine. She was grateful for the familiar bustle. Being busy kept her mind focused. Off the past, the present, and, most worrisome, the future. Once the lunch crowd swarmed, she couldn't think about the reason she could afford her shiny, custom-built food truck, or why she needn't worry about giving extra grilled cheese sandwiches to Charlotte on a regular basis. When her financial advisor had told her how much money she would receive, she had gasped, but the sum hadn't made her any less angry. Take the order, butter the bread, add the cheese, grill, assemble the sandwich, cut, wrap, repeat. One to-do list she had completed so often she no longer needed to write it down. Her little sister Vicky regularly suggested a therapist might be a healthier route, but grilled cheese had gotten her through just fine. In Gina's experience, cheese made everything better. Parmesan on popcorn, crispy fried goat cheese in a salad, a swipe of cream cheese on a toasted bagel, or melted Gouda on an egg sandwich. She even liked a dollop of sweetened mascarpone on a slice of warm cherry pie instead of ice cream. But grilled cheese, gooey from the griddle, crisp on the outside, melty on the inside, that was the pinnacle of dairy possibility. No matter how it was dressed up, with balsamic reductions or microgreens, a grilled cheese was still luscious goodness between carbs. Simple, wholesome comfort food at its finest. Handheld happiness everyone could enjoy. And Gina loved to make people happy, especially on a cold day like today. Her vibrant orange and yellow food truck gleamed in her regular spot at Red Arrow Park in downtown Milwaukee, a colorful beacon in gray late December, drawing office workers and city employees like bees to a flower. She'd been running her truck for a little over a year, and she already had a loyal following. The other trucks, a homogeneous line of white and silver, offered tacos, soup, and even fresh donuts. But no one could walk past grilled cheese without smiling. In the small stainless steel room, everything had a use, every item an assigned home, and it could be all scrubbed clean with bleach and a hose when a day became extra messy. Black cushioned rubber mats covered the floor, so her footing was always sure, and a large window allowed her to stay in the warm, portable kitchen and take orders from the customers lined up outside. One end led to the cab containing the driver's seat, a second seat that folded down for a passenger, and a few steps to get out the door, like a school bus. The other end held an emergency exit that doubled as shelving space. Lining the sides of her galley kitchen were the griddle, burners, a refrigerator, ample workspace, and the requisite number of sinks to pass a health inspection. Every inch had a purpose and had been custom designed just for her with love, including the slightly shorter than normal counter and movable shelves she could pull down rather than reaching up. Clear-headed, Gina handed another sandwich to a waiting customer and looked up to take another order but was greeted with an empty window. Next door, Monica pulled down her awning, sending a wave before climbing back into on a roll. Gina's heart clenched and the blood thundered through her body. Another lunch rush over. Everything she'd been ignoring rushed in, like a wave filling a sandcastle's moat, pulling at the castle walls as it swirled. As she braced for the next wave, her phone rang. The tide receded. Seeing it was Vicky, she pulled out the earbuds from her pocket, plugged them into her phone, and took the call. Before she could even say, "Hey," Vicky started into her tirade. "Did you read the email yet?" her sister began. While starting to clean up the counters, Gina mumbled something non-committal, her body on autopilot. Vicky must have interpreted her grunt as a negative response because she kept talking. "I need to read it to you so you get the full impact. Gifts this year were not good. Can you believe her? I gave her perfume that cost more than my last epidural. You'd think that would count for something."